Hello, hello. I am Pretty Bird,
And I am Sweetie.
and together we are Pretty Sweet. Welcome to Pretty Sweet Distractions, where we speak unfiltered about life, love, poetry, and prowess. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the distractions in the form of open discussions on artful words. Now, for the rules, there's really only one major one. We are grown up people talking about grown up things using all the grown up words, every last stinking one of them. So if you're easily offended, this may not be your bouncing tea bag, cup of tea, or whatever floats your boat. We like to have fun, poke fun, and generally have a great time. So if you're down to be distracted, come hang out. Chat, call, like, follow, share, leave your opinions and our opinions, click all the hearts and show us some love and subscribe wherever you can. We have live streams every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern, and you can listen to us live on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Just type in Pretty Sweet, PRTTY Sweet, all one word. Click on the red shoes, and you can listen to us live. Oh my goodness. And if you want to listen to all our things, you can find us anywhere by typing the same thing because, follow the red shoes all the way to all the distractions. And tonight we are talking about the fact that it's not my fault you're stupid. And so on any given day, people surprise us, whether it's with kindness, rudeness, intelligence, or stupidity. However, it's the stupidity, often around that permeates deep and dances on that last nerve. They always seem to blame everyone else for their thoughtlessness or mistakes. The bottom line is, it's not my fault you're stupid. And that you can take that to sound however you want to take that to sound because you ain't wrong. Now, here's the thing. I know that I don't hold people's knowledge, education, IQ or anything against anybody. I really fucking don't. But I'm not a big fan of a lack of common sense. I'm not a big fan of weaponized incompetence. I'm not a big fan of disguising freaking laziness to the point where you piss somebody off enough for them to do it so you don't have to because, I raise kids. I know what's up. And it's one thing when they're little and testing boundaries. It's another thing when you're a grown ass adult, and that just kind of makes you an asshole. I am just saying. But the one that really gets me is when people can't see all the different sides of a situation they're in the middle of, where they can't see anything but what they want to see or what they choose to see, and they ignore all the things, and they can't see how two things can be right at the same time, you know? Where they can't see how the world does not live in mutual exclusivity, where it's one emotion, one side for every situation. And then they're like, well, I didn't do it on purpose. And therefore, I don't know what you're talking about. And so it's not my fault. No, no, it is your fault. It is your fault if I tell you I need the car because I have to go to work in an hour and you take the car and disappear to go shopping for 6 hours. Yes, that's your fucking fault. I'm just saying. So it's things like that that drive me nuts. I just don't have any patience whatsoever to put up with somebody else's nonsense. If it's things they don't know, if it's something that I'm teaching them, if people are willing to learn or they ask questions under, that is freaking fabulous. I can sit there and spend as much time as is needed, regardless of how much time that is to help somebody understand a situation, to help somebody who's willing to have these conversations. I will have all the conversations. That's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about, the idiots, the ones that walk into the restaurant with no shoes and want to write the bad reviews because they're not letting me live my my best life and my right to be barefoot for all of its health, benefits, you know? Like, no, put your fucking shoes on. You're gross. Nobody wants your fucking toe jam and flying through the air. It is not okay. It's also, if it is inside, I don't believe that in a lot of places it's legal. It is a very unfortunate, food safety
Sanitary.
F.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm like, "Well, how" they're like, "Well, it shouldn't be." I don't care what it should or shouldn't be. The answer is put your freaking shoes on or stay outside. It's not that difficult. I live, in Florida, and, this time of year, it's like 100 degrees. Everybody's, full of swamp ass and sweating balls, and guys walk around literally no shirts on all the time. Not that that's what I wanna see, but whatever. But when it says no shirt, no shoes, no service, maybe don't throw a fit at the gas station when they're like, "Can you put a shirt on?" "I just wanna buy a beer." "Not today, you don't," you know? "You're making it more difficult, it's not that serious." There's a sign, dude. No, no, you just give me a fucking break. And half the time that I have seen this happen, it's, like, tucked into their back pocket. It is too hot to put that on. I can't go tits out. I don't have any sympathy for you. I am just saying. They're like, "It's too hot, sweetie. I gotta wear a bra and a shirt. How about you try that on and then complain?" So I don't know. I have issues, but I'm not a big fan of masses anyway, because I don't know if you've listened to the show before, but we have shown that, at least once a show, that sometimes people suck. Sometimes they're amazing, but sometimes they suck. And you get used to being let down. And so when you start expecting common sense not to be common, you get let down less. But also, it doesn't go hand in hand with the highest level of respect. And I say this knowing I sound like an asshole. Also, I don't care because it's true. Because here's the thing. I my happy place, my people are giant doofuses. They're big old goofball nerds, and I love every single
Ooh,
fucking one
ooh.
of them, you know? I really, really do. And so I am good with off kilter. I am good with the spectrum. I am good with all the quirks and all the eccentricities. I am good with status quo, normal society, and I'm finger quoting normal because what the fuck is that? And but I will never understand how people play dumb and hold so hard to whatever bullshit they stated to begin with that they don't realize that they're not fooling anybody. And we've all been in situations like this, and it's not necessarily Karen situations because that's a different type of butthole altogether. It's the fact that if somebody says, "Oh, I didn't realize or I didn't know," all right, well now you do, and move the fuck on, not that big a deal. But when it is 3 days later and they are still feigning innocence when they know gosh darn well they did something to provoke somebody else, to get, what they wanted, to piss somebody off just enough to get some free time and blame it on somebody else, any kind of manipulation, any kind of whatever, don't play stupid, just own up to it. You're not fooling anybody, you know? It's like, I see what you did, and now you're the asshole, and you can say you're not the asshole all you want to, but that's not gonna change all the facts of the matter. It's not gonna change what I see. Now it's just gonna turn you into a freaking liar. So here's the thing. If you're the kind of person that can't read signs that say do not touch in a way that means do not touch. If you still have to touch it, you're going to get what you get. I will not feel bad for you. I will take you to the ER when things cut off your fingers because you stuck it in somewhere it doesn't need to be. That's what I will do. But I won't feel bad for you because you did it to yourself. And it's not my job outside of whatever kids are in my charge. It is not my job or the job of any other adult to police other adults that I can't teach the world anything because how I view things may not be how you view things or anybody else views things, but even in that egregious lack of common sense, I don't need to educate everybody who makes, common sense uncommon. I can't take on that responsibility, and I can't let them all fucking bother me either. So I will walk away, leave your dumb ass right freaking there. The answer is no, I'm not going down for you. I will never lie for people. It is not gonna fucking happen. And then I'm the asshole. I'm the bad friend. I'm like, how can you just leave me there? Why did you walk out with that open can of soda that you did not pay for? I'm not going to buy it for you because I saw you walk out with it. If they
Uh-huh.
choose to send security out there for you to go back in there and pay and you get embarrassed, that's on you because you know damn well you didn't freaking pay for it. You know what I mean? It's like, it has nothing to do with I'm
Mhm.
going to leave you right there. I will wait in the car till you come out. And it's funny because these people always want somebody else to blame. Well, you should have told me. Well, I ain't your mama. Well, if you saw it, not my job. Now if I am with you and you are in my close circle, I will laugh in your I probably still won't warn you, but I will laugh in your face. I will absolutely watch and laugh and take pictures. But these people know that I will, and they would do the same for me. But I tend to not surround myself with people that are egregiously unfortunate, because I don't have the patience. It really makes me curt. It makes me slightly bitter. It makes me just frustrated beyond frustrated. I'm just like, listen, I do not have my peopling for the day runs out real quick when I'm surrounded by things like that. I'm like, I'm just gonna go home. I'm gonna try to leave my house another day. And it's not about leaving the house, it's about dealing with the people. I am perfectly fine with people. I really and truly am. I'm as nice as they come, but if you're gonna be an idiot, I'm done. And it's different than being that goofball, you know what I mean? It's different than being funny, it's different than being embarrassing, it's different than throwing me under the bus, it's a different dynamic when they are sincerely, when somebody goes to a store, let's just take the Dollar Tree. They have a bunch of pool noodles and fake flowers and nonsense seasonally outside. It's the ones that go there, put 3 pool noodles in their car, never go inside and wonder why they're being chased down the parking lot. Well, they're outside. How am I supposed to buy them? Nobody's gonna buy that nonsense because, if you know how to drive a car, you know how a store works. You know what I mean? Um, it's just it's that kind of nonsense. It's the deception, it's the playing dumb, it's the
So,
it it's the teaching yourself that you can get away with it because people let you get away with it. And then when you're around people that don't let you get away with it, you double down. And I'm just like, this is not the time to show your entire butt. You know, it is not okay because I tend to not stand for things. Somebody tried just last week. I had an unfortunate incident where somebody had told me a month ago about, you know, cheating on his husband and all this stuff. I did not know this man. He thought we were bonding. I have never cheated. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But he thought we were bonding. He's telling me all his business. And then he didn't follow through with things that he said. And then he tried to twist it on me. So I texted the husband because that was the number I was supposed to text on, saying, listen, I recorded all of this shit because I should have known better than somebody who's going to tell me that he's cheating to a total stranger, which I also have recorded. So you let me know if you want that, so much for keeping your word. And I left it there just like that, as nice as can be to the freaking husband. Because if that's where you want me to text you, you're going to get what you get. Don't fucking try to treat me like I'm the asshole because no. And I don't feel bad about it because I didn't do it egregiously. I never would have done it had somebody held their wits about them. But if you're going to sit there and try to curse me out and try to sit there and tell me I'm this horrible person because you forgot what you actually said the first place, the answer is, oh, sweetie, no, it is not my fault. You're stupid. I am just saying. So, sweet pea,
Wow.
I feel some kind of way, damn it.
Well, stupid people make you feel that way.
They really do. I have no freaking patience.
I mean, I just, oh, I get so frustrated. And I don't know who ever made, we say common sense, but I don't know if common should be in front of it because it's so not common. And I think we lose more and more every year. It's like somehow it used to be like come with our like we're born with common sense, and now less and less people have it. I don't understand what happened to it. I really don't. It frustrates me because it seems like it's disappearing, and I don't know why. I could blame the internet, but I don't know. Maybe it's because we don't like interact as much. Um, but I don't know if that's what it is.
Well, I think that since manners went by the wayside decades ago, just instead of it being that when people stopped wearing hats and suits and whatever, they stopped looking nice, they stopped acting nice. And when nobody calls them out for not acting nice, then they don't have to freaking do anything.
I know
People will get away with whatever they can get away with, and it's ridiculous.
people used to dress up to go on airplanes, and now if you put deodorant on, people are lucky. Um, women used to wear just they used to look nice. At least take showers before they got in an airplane and had to sit so close to you.
Right?
I mean, that was a nice, yes. I you just people, women, people. I don't understand why it's not okay for somebody to open a door for you. That blows my mind. That's not taking away my right to be a woman and get paid correctly. I still like a door open for me. That's just nice.
It isn't always.
Yeah, it's not taking
It
away any power as somebody in an office. Just FYI, because I'll open doors for men too. It's just courtesy.
I
If
am very picky about who I let open a door for me.
Really,
Um,
if I
I
have a bunch of groceries in my hand and somebody opens the door for me, I say thank you. I don't care if it's a man or a
Well,
woman
that's
or
different.
anything.
That's
That's
different.
just a
That's
courtesy.
That's different. That's not just opening a door. That's helping somebody out. When people and I'm going to say men, just I'm putting it out there. When they open the
Hey.
door for you tell me I'm wrong when I'm done. When they open the door for a lady, they tend to open the door for somebody they find attractive. They tend not, or for somebody who's elderly. All the middle ground ones they can't be fucking bothered with. And and they stare at you and they expect all the niceness, and then they want you to start a conversation. The ones that do it just because it's nice and they're being a gentleman and whatnot, I don't have a problem with that. The ones that sit there and as you're walking through want to have a whole fucking conversation, no, this is not a transaction. I'd rather hold the door open myself. I don't have time to dilly dally. You're not getting my phone number. Stop looking at my butt, because it feels different and it feels smarmy, and it's just, oh, sometimes somebody's aura just gives you the ick, and it's not every time. I mean, people just open the door. I taught all of my kids, you open the door for whatever, and they will run out in front of somebody to open the door for them, especially if they're elderly, male or female. If they've got a bunch of shit or they're trying to push a stroller, they're all over it, you know. Um, and it's never for any other reason than it's the right thing to do, and that's perfectly fine. When that happens, I have no problem with it, you know. It's the, so how are you doing today? Oh, ugh. We're not talking about my day. I got shit to do. I'm either going in or going out, you know.
Right.
How you doing?
So
Yeah, not
there's,
only that. That's disgusting. I
but
mean,
it happens. It happens just as often as the ones that are being genuine.
agree. I do agree with that. But there's also the other side of it. Oh, how dare you open a door? And I don't understand that side of it. But I
I
just think
mean, I'm not going to be all, I can open it my damn self unless they're so egregiously smarmy that I'm like, no, I'll wait, thanks. You know?
I'll take care of my own damn door. Um, I still think there's outside of doors, there's just a there's just not that whole it's me. I'm not gonna do anything for anybody else. I live in my own little bubble, and people don't have self-awareness around them.
I think that they
And
have
that's
too much self-awareness and no awareness for others.
right, and that's kind of where I was going. It's like, I'm in my zone, and I don't know, like, if I know somebody's reaching for an orange, but I wanted that orange, I'm going to take that last orange, because there's no courtesy. There's no, you know, any self awareness of anybody else. And I just don't understand that. I just find it that amount of stupidity in our society. It's like all for one. No, it's for me. Everything is about me, you know. And I can't understand how we've gotten there.
Instagram.
When
Well, everything's
when you
instant gratification. Seriously, it's instant gratification.
yeah
Nobody has any patience. Nobody, it's all let me get what I want. I can get back to what I'm doing, and nobody is taught. It's that entitlement these I cannot with the entitlement where they don't think there's anything wrong with it. I'm gonna get what I get. Listen. I will inconvenience you for 5 seconds so I can do what I want and get what I want, regardless of what it is you're going through. People are taught that that's okay. And society is just like everybody's out for themselves. And I'm just like, well, all right. Now I'm all for manners and I am polite. I say please and thank you to the drive-through people at the machine, even if it's AI. I am who I am. But the ones that realize that it doesn't matter and you're going to get the food anyway really can't be bothered with the extra time, really are the ones that are going to throw a fit about things, really are the ones that are going to be all like, well, it's not that I left my house 20 minutes late, it's everybody else's fault that didn't get out of my way, and I got here late, but you should have known I was still coming, and why aren't you still open? And no, I'm like, I cannot deal with your nonsense. It is absolutely ridiculous. And they don't know what to do with the people that are still nice. They don't curse them out so that they can pitch a fit and then be like, oh, they were so rude to me to their friends. They're like, oh, sweetie, no. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
I think I've run into so many stupid people working at Burger King, and I worked at Burger King for a very long time. It's my company. I still call it my company. I mean, I worked there long enough for them to put me through college, and it was a great company to work for. But I have had people throw things at me, throw hamburgers at me, throw shakes at me, and literally call me the dumbest. I've been called the C word. I've been called a bitch. I've been called everything in the book and told you are dumber than this and you are dumber than that because obviously if you're in that world you are not allowed to make a mistake at all. You just can't. Because I think the frustration at the end of the day or whatever you're going to it's going to be taken out on you. But I do not comprehend, and I never will comprehend, somebody being so violent over a
Oh,
cheeseburger being made wrong. And I've had people try to come over counters, and I find that just ludicrous. It's like, calm down. I'll have it right for you in like 2 minutes. And to be told you're just as dumb as hell. I bet you can't even read a book. I mean,
yeah,
the
does that make
ignorance
them
in
feel
those kind of
better
people
though? Because how
is
that's ridiculous, you know?
it, it's it's beyond comprehension. Absolutely beyond comprehension. Um,
I don't
I,
think that
I
entitlement needs to beget kindness. Like, I don't think that like you can be a little bit narcissistic. You can think the entire world revolves around you. You can be all that and still be kind. A nice ass is still a nice ass. A full gaping anus. Nobody wants to be around that stinky shit. You know what I mean? I
right.
am just saying, there's no reason in my eyes not to start with kindness. Now things escalate because people don't know how to talk to people. It happens.
oh,
But if you don't start from a neutral place, at least a neutral place, if not actual kindness. I mean, if you're already going to come at somebody yelling, I'm like, no, if it were me, I'd be like, no, you're not getting free shit. You're not getting a discount. I've already called the cops. Get the fuck out, because I don't have the patience. I could not do it. I
right.
cannot.
Yep.
And there were several police officers called. Trust me. But generally, it was just calm down. We'll get it made right. I'm sorry you're having such a bad day, and it's very easy to make them feel like assholes, which was much more fun for me. But eh, it's just I cannot. I mean, I think there's something mentally wrong with you if you go that crazy. But yeah,
Oh, that's like the ones that get so ridiculously butthurt, get so offended when you don't believe their bullshit. I'm sorry, but no. I'm sorry, but no. And they're just like, "How dare you? I have not." And I'm just like, "Okay, listen, go somewhere else. I'm over it. Like, I'm not listening to you. I said the answer is no. I said whatever I said. This is not winning you any brownie points, and now I've lost respect. Just go away." And when you tell somebody as calm as can be to just go, they don't know what to do themselves. They'll either double down and try to make you the villain for things that they did, or they will sit there and be like, well, fuck. And, hopefully they just go the fuck away because people have learned, like in mass quantities, people have learned that if you make somebody some kind of uncomfortable, you're going to get your way, or they're going to back down, or you're gonna, and I'm finger quoting, win in some kind of perception of whatever the situation is. And that doesn't work on anybody, on everybody. It really just doesn't. And I look nice. I'm as sweet as can be. I will smile at you and be all have a fabulous freaking day and all the things and be fully genuine. But if you're gonna turn ass on me, I'm gonna be like, oh, sweetie, no. Are
Yeah.
you sure that's the choice you want to make? Because you're gonna lose. And I don't ever have to raise my voice, and they don't know what to do with it because your standard manipulation tactics make me just dig in my feet like I'm a big old brick wall of fuck you with a smile on my face. And then people are just like, you don't even care. What? Why? Why would you think that? Why would how I feel about you or the situation, why would that change when I'm choosing not to engage with this nonsense, with this retaliatory reactionary nonsense? I'm like, yeah, I can't do it. And sometimes I just completely shut down, then whatever. And if it needs to sit a few days, it needs to sit a few days. If that makes me heartless and if that makes me an asshole, I will wear that crown to bed. It is perfectly fine because it's falling into that fight that is not really a fight and just a tactic to you know
Get
kind
what
of,
you want.
yeah, to either share time, pull them away from something productive, do whatever it is. That half the time, unfortunately, they don't even realize what it is that they do it for, or that they're doing it at all. It's just their natural reactionary state of being that feels like, woohoo, I won, even though there was nothing to have won. That gives me the actual ick. Like, it makes me lose respect. It pisses me off that people think that I can be played that way, that like I'm somebody's freaking puppet. I know I am not. I am as kind will be. And I will be kind even when they don't deserve my kindness for a really long time. Because when I stop, I don't know how to grow that part of me back. It takes a lot. If I've had to put up a wall to stop the bullshit to preserve what little piece I have, because I don't know if y'all know, I am not good at relaxing. I am just saying that I won't engage. I'd rather just not deal at all than have to be emotionally eviscerated just trying to defend myself for existing how I exist. It's a very rough place to be, you know? And people want to judge the ones that don't react right. By right, I mean the way they expect. They want to judge them as the foul ones. They want to judge them as the liars. And I thought you were different, and I thought you were this, and you used to be like that, and all the bullshit when it's their shit just doesn't work anymore. And it sucks that people are like this, because why does it have to be so hard to exist in the realm of other people? I don't care if they are, employer, employee, co-workers, family, friends of friends, acquaintances, stranger. I don't give a shit who they are. You know, there it shouldn't be that hard to exist in a space with somebody, because common courtesy, a little respect for for people's personal space. If you have an expectation for people not to bother you when you're screaming on your phone in like a doctor's office, then you don't get the right then to complain about somebody else that you can't hear your phone call because they're having a conversation. You can't be on both sides of that. You know what I mean? And people want their way, and or there's no other right answer. And I'm just like, when how did you get to be this old and think that that's okay? You know, I was like, your mama didn't teach you right. And and it's horrible. And it's different. Okay, like my father is old, you know? So and he was crotchety when he was young. So and even he will not start a conversation with a gaping anus. He'll be like, "Listen, I'm having this is a situation. How can we rectify it?" If somebody comes at him with the attitude of, "Well, that's not my problem." "Oh, it is now." You know, watch me make it your problem, ma'am, you know? And he has earned the right to go from nice to ass because he is old as fuck and he don't play, you know? Um, but anything out of that, I mean, he starts nice. I start nice. My nice start, you know, it tries to be a little accommodating to a certain degree, understanding you've had a bad day, understanding all of these things. Yeah, yeah, but you still don't get to talk to me that way. I was like, listen, I did not raise my voice at you. I expect the same courtesy. Well, but you're not hearing what I have to say. That's because you're yelling at me. You might want to take it down a notch. And then they get all pissed off, like I'm the asshole. I'm like, all right, yeah, no, I will speak to people's supervisors so freaking fast. Um, and here's the thing: I will also speak to a supervisor really fast if the customer service is great.
Yeah.
If they were lovely, I will walk around freaking Walmart this over here, and I saw her get verbally berated by the person in front of me, and she still was calm with a smile. I gave her a minute, and so that she didn't have to sit in it. She can shake it off, and she was truly lovely and all the things. I will go out of my way for the really good ones, as easily as I go out of my way for the giant ass hats. And um it took me till I was not too long ago old, to realize that that's not normal. That so many people are quick to be all like, "You're an ass. I'm going to the boss. Give me your manager. Give me your manager. Give me your manager." But they don't want to share anything good. They don't want to share anything nice. They don't think that um, going above and beyond deserves recognition, where I'm like, I would rather tell bosses or go to higher ups about how good somebody was. And no lie, that's how I got a free computer, you know, because I went through crap with Hewlett Packard back in the day because their shit was faulty. They had to rebuild my computer 3 times. It still had pixels, whatever, and light bleeds and all this stuff, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. And after a year of bullshit, they put me into this executive escalations or whatever they wanted to call it. And this woman was so amazingly kind that I asked her specifically for the contact information for her boss. Little did I know it was like one of the area VPs. And I emailed this person, and on Christmas Eve, he called me on Christmas fucking Eve. I'm like, I don't need to do business on Christmas Eve. It's fine. But he called me and he's like, you know, I got this. And I just want to make sure that I got this correct. I said all the things. Girlie got a raise. I got a free 24-inch monitor on top of a free rebuild. And, you know, I'm sorry for all the stuff and all the things. You've been through all this stuff. So all this, and I'm going to throw the monitor in for you just because you went out of your way to make sure that she was recognized. And I was just like, I don't know how I could not. I've dealt with, you've seen the people I've talked to. She was stellar, you know, and it makes a difference because people don't do that. I mean, I'm no better than anybody else. I'm not saying, oh, look at all the things that I do. Woohoo, pat myself in the back. I'm not. I'm just saying, as much as we like people to appreciate shit that we do, we have to also appreciate things that other people do. And I think that therein lies the original or the baseline problem, is that everybody has that entitlement, that sense of expectation. It's the ones that when you hold the door for them, they walk through without even looking at you like you're their servant, and they don't bother saying thank you. You know, it's that they, and I've seen women stand in front of a door and wait for somebody to open it for them. Sweetie, this is not 1935. If you are able to open the fucking door, open the fucking door if there's nobody there. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And maybe it's just because my own myopia. Maybe it's just because I see things the way I see things, and I'm very black and white, right and wrong, you know, all the things that I will concede that not everybody sees things the way I see things, and sometimes I'm the giant gaping anus. I am okay with that. I really and truly am. But there should be a standard or basic, even if you don't want to call it kindness, but you know, basic baseline respect for other people's space, property, and person that really doesn't take anything away from your day at all, to not bother somebody. You know what I mean? To not sit too close to them and like on the bus. Like seriously, when I used to have to ride the bus
Oh,
when I was younger, and there would be like 30 seats open on the bus, and some asshole wants to sit thigh to thigh with me, I would go right up to behind the bus driver and have a conversation with the bus driver, and they would give the guy the stink eye because sometimes it happens. People just want to squish up. Do not, I don't want to smell your sweat. I don't want to touch your sweat. If you don't have to sit next to me because there's no other seat, sit somewhere else. You know what I mean? And it gives me the creep. I don't care if you're a guy, I don't care if you're a girl. If I am in an empty movie theater and somebody wants to sit in the very next spot, I am going to move, because there's no reason not to have at least that one space. That one, if you've got 100 different empty chairs, there's zero reason why a stranger needs to sit right next to you. They can talk to you just fine if they want to.
wait a minute.
I am serious.
But you picked the seat for a reason. They picked the seat for the same reason.
Yeah, no.
You know.
I'm not buying the nonsense, because in the big theaters, there are 4 center seats that are freaking fabulous. And if there's nobody else in there, you do not need to sit next to me. You know what I mean? You do not have to sit where we have to share an armrest and you accidentally touch my popcorn. The answer is no.
No.
It's just, it's not okay. It's invasive to me. And I get that maybe I'm weird, but I don't think that I'm weird. Okay, you're the guy here, Rack. If you had an empty movie theater, say you're just gonna go to a matinee, and you've got this empty movie theater, and there's one girl sitting in there. Are you going to go and ride up to her, sit in the very next seat, and force her to have a conversation with you?
It happened unwittingly. I
Were,
went into I
were
went
they
into an empty movie theater and I chose the seats. And the next thing you know, they're walking down the aisle, and apparently that their coats were there, and they were right next to where I was sitting, and
were the
it
coats
was the
there
girl I
before
was
you
dating.
sat?
Yeah,
Oh, then
I
that's
just
on
didn't
you.
notice. Well, I mean, who looks for someone holding a seat with a coat in a movie theater? I just I went to sit where I want to sit, and it happened to be the same spot because we the same thought. I want to be this far from the screen. I want to be in the center. Da 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 da. And
Did you
the funny
ask
thing was,
if she would like you, if you to move over one?
um, I think it was like that they were behind me instead, or not like next to me. But the funny thing was too, the way it happened was, I was dating the girl, and we decided, we were seeing each other. We were seeing each other. Well, let's hang out with our other friends, and take a little break. And we both had the same idea. We called up our friends. We're like, let's go to the movies. So we both decided to amuse ourselves the same way, and we picked the same movie, the same theater, the same seats. I just thought it was funny, but
But here's the thing, if they were behind you, that's not next to you. That's completely different. That's at least some space.
yes, but it's still kind of next to you.
And no, it's not. No, here's the thing. When somebody
Ah,
sits close enough to you where they have to touch you, to sit there shoulder to shoulder when there's another 100 seats around, that's invasive. If they're sitting behind you, if
Yes.
they're sitting in front of you, if they're sitting one space away from you, it doesn't fucking matter. But if they're choosing to sit right next to you, knee to knee, and they don't know you, it's uncomfortable. It's almost, and as a woman, and if it is a guy, it almost feels predatory. It feels
Yeah.
like you can't leave. It's very unfortunate. Am I wrong, sweet?
No, you're not wrong at all.
You see, and I don't know that guys notice. They're just like, oh, I'm gonna sit here. It's an empty seat. Hey, how you doing? It feels like you cannot leave. Look, no, it's not funny. It's scary, is
I'm
what it is.
chuckling because of situations that have happened to me. My friend was like, "How do you do that?" There was an instance where I was sitting near someone or whatever, and we started talking, and the woman was like emptying out her purse and showing me what she had in her purse, and
Ooh,
very
Breakfast
very
Club.
personal. Yeah, I mean, it was just funny. That's why I chuckled because
But that's
things
an
like that have
engaging
actually happened to me.
conversation. That
Yeah,
there's if you're having a conversation, or if you accidentally, bump into somebody in the lobby, and whatever, and you end up sitting right next to each other, that's different. That's got
yeah,
context. That's not you sitting alone in the dark and having somebody in an empty movie theater sit so
yes.
close to you that it's not okay. It really isn't. It's a little scary because that's where somebody can stab you. That's where somebody will stick their hand in your popcorn. It is not okay.
Oh,
That's where guys will sit there and shake their leg knee to knee and rub their knee on you and get themselves off that way. And it's not okay. And these are things that have happened. It is unfortunate. I swear to God, and I did not know that I can call the police because I was young. My hair was down to my waist. I'm sitting in fucking bleachers with my
oh,
boyfriend at the time, and the wind was blowing everywhere, and I took my hair and grabbed it all and flung it behind me. Right? Didn't think anything of it. Didn't feel like anything. I nobody complained. I was just the wind was blowing. We were outside. I was on the bleachers, whatever. And my boyfriend grabbed my arm and said, "We're leaving." And when we got to the car, he was seething. And I said, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "Yeah, your hair was in his lap, and his belt was off." And the answer is no, I would have killed somebody. And I'm just like, because what in the actual fuck? And here's the thing. There were people on both sides of him. The bleachers were full. I didn't notice because I wasn't seeing what was behind me. I was really delusional
right.
that my hair was as long as it was, So I'm just flinging it back there, thinking it's just behind my thing, or thinking it's landing on the floor behind me because bleachers, because it was down to my waist. And no, it landed in this guy's lap. And instead of moving it, saying excuse me, or being pissed off or anything normal, he's just like, oh my, and thought he was gonna do some stuff. That is not okay. And so, as a woman, maybe I don't want any part of you touching any part of me if I don't know who the fuck you are. You know what I mean? And and so it's different if you have a conversation in line, if you're like, hey, why don't we just sit next to each other and continue the conversation at the previews? That's perfectly fucking fine. That's not a problem. That is kind of an open invitation, and that is okay. There's acceptance there. It's when there is no acceptance that there's a
Yeah.
fucking problem. And when this happens and I move, they're like, what? Do I smell? What? Do I offend you? What? Yes, you fucking do. But you can't say that because that's when you get punched in the face. No lie. I don't think you understand as a man what it feels like to be a woman and have big, giant, strong guys. Not the like little ones that I can kick their ass, but the big ones want to play tough. What the fuck's your problem? You are, because I need my personal space. Like, I just want to get, what? I can't think you're pretty. No, the fuck you can't. Don't fucking look at me. I'm done. And I have left the movie theater for feeling uncomfortable before they had a chance to try to follow me home, because I've had people follow me.
Yeah.
And listen, I am not hot. I am not anything special. It doesn't matter what the fuck you look like. A guy wants a piece of something, he's going to want a piece of something. I had somebody follow my car 14 miles before I pulled over into a busy IHOP parking space and was like, what in the actual fuck? Because there were people everywhere. And so I pulled in over there because I wasn't going to let this person follow me home from college. And
Oh my God.
they're just like, you're so pretty. I just want to give you my phone number. I was like, you lost the opportunity for me to want your phone number when you followed me for 14 fucking miles. You know? I was like, no, I am done. You're creepy. Goodbye. Well, are you, when do you have class? Not your fucking business. I swear I never parked in that specific parking lot where they followed me from at that school ever again because it is scary. And this was pre,
It's a valid fear.
it
There,
is,
there, there
but
was there
it
was
bothers
an instance there was an instance that this actually happened where some guy picked up a hitchhiker, and this is documented. He picked up a hitchhiker, and he didn't want him to see where he lived, so he dropped him off near the house, near the however far away, so he wouldn't see where he lived. And the guy got mad, and it escalated to he wanted to assault the guy, and when he went to walk around the car to get back in, he pulled away. And then when he came home, he circled around to make sure the guy couldn't find out where he lived. When he got home, the guy literally found out and didn't know where he lived, but wound up in this guy's house and killed his wife or his mother or somebody,
his mother.
whoever it was
Yes.
that he was. Yeah, and nobody wanted to believe that this was a coincidence. That how did he figure out where your house was? He had to turn down this road, and there's other houses around there. How did he pick this house out of all the houses? And yeah, it's crazy, like you said. But it's a valid fear. Like shit happens like that, and people don't want to believe it. But it's wild.
And when they're not trying to actually kill you, they get so offended.
Yeah.
What? I'm just trying to talk to you. No, no. I came here to not be bothered by anybody. Maybe ask the question. Maybe be polite enough to be like, "Would you mind if I sit here?" Be like, "No, I'd rather you not. Can you skip a seat so that I have a little bit of space?" Be like, "All right, you can still have a conversation. It's still close enough to whatever. It's not rude. It's not disrespectful. It's not scary." Is there any actual sense of safety? No, because what's the difference? But it's not egregiously touching me,
Yeah.
accidentally reaching for my soda, whatever the fuck it is. It's not as invasive, and people don't understand. And it's when they get all butthurt about it, when they want to get in your face, when they want to be like, "Well, you're a bitch." Yes, the fuck I am. If that's what you want to call me, I will wear it. I will wear that crown. I will wear that sparkling freaking tiara. But I'm also
Lace
not
those boots up.
seriously. I'm also not one to run away from people, and I'll be like, "Excuse me, there's a million other seats here. Can you at least move?" Well, I wanted to talk to you. You can talk to me from a seat over there, or over here, or back over this way. You don't need to be right next to me. I'm asking you. You're making me uncomfortable. Well, I just want to talk
Why
to
does
you.
why does what you want matter to me? Go away.
Serious. Well, you learn not to want to instigate when you don't know what's in their pockets to beat you with, you know? And this is where I didn't even want to go down here, but I'm going to say it anyway. This is why there's no actual controversy for any woman when they were asked that question that's been viral for who knows how the
Yeah.
fuck long. That's old news now. If you were stuck in the woods, would you want to be with a man or a bear? The answer across the board is what, sweetie?
There.
Yes, because you know what to expect. It's a bear. They're either going to eat you or they're not.
Yeah.
Where um there's this kind of, I'll call it a trend, but I don't know if it's a trend, like it's not like a TikTok trend or something stupid, where people take their significant others, their girlfriends, their wives, whatever, on a hike up a mountain, leave them there, like go so far ahead of them, come down some other, leave them fucking there to die, and be like, "I don't know what happened, I turned around and she was gone." And these are people that were supposed to love them. I don't know how she went over that cliff. And what are you gonna say? What are you gonna do? Oh, accidents happen. You know what I mean?
The pictures of you with your hand on her back may have had something to do with it.
Or something. And it's just it's not just in the woods. It's not just that scenario. It's all these little
Yeah.
scenarios that put you in that position. And usually out of fear or politeness, I know a lot of women of any age that aren't as bold as these younglings that want to sit there and be like, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" I'm like, "Sweetie, that's how you get throat punched." Okay, that's you don't want to piss them off until you know how angry they are to start with, you know? So you extricate yourself from the situation, you say whatever, you don't participate in whatever they're trying to whatever. If you have to leave, leave. And a lot of it is quiet, a lot of it is in confrontation, not out of fear, but out of, I don't have time for your bullshit. And most guys don't ever have to have that problem, you know? So if people escalate and push beyond your boundaries after you said, you know, you make me uncomfortable, or I don't appreciate it, or I'd rather be alone, or whatever it is, if they keep on pushing, they're idiots. And they're gonna get what they get. Because there is literally a very, very almost invisible line between fuck you and 911. Because if you cannot gauge somebody's quickness to escalate, there is no safety to be had. And that is not what polite society is supposed to freaking look like. It really just isn't. You know what I mean? And here's the thing, I am all for good manners, and I love me a gentleman. I don't care if you're old, I don't care if you're young. I don't mind if you're going to open the door for me, if it doesn't feel like a transaction and it doesn't feel smarmy. I'm like, thank you so much. I appreciate your kindness. That doesn't bother me. But I'd rather you open the door than me have to deal with it with all of my joint problems. But sometimes it feels like, well, tit for tat, I did something nice for you. Here's my wiener. With strangers. You know, you listen, you grew up in New York, you know, wieners are out all the fucking time everywhere. No place is safe. You know?
Angelina.
Well, there's that. It's crazy. And I don't understand how people don't see why this is not how society functions efficiently. You know, I fail to see, watching all of these reactionary Karen videos, right? How these Karens, who are obviously not like that just that one time, you have to work your way up to Karen. You're not born a Karen, you know? And they still don't understand how it's their fault. I mean, if it's every time you go somewhere, what's the common denominator? You know, and I'm just like, what? It
Burger King.
it makes no sense to me why people act the way they act, why people treat others like they're scum, why people, I don't care if you're homeless, I don't care if you've got $1 billion. It's not my fucking money, you know? So you're just a person, I don't give a crap, you know? If you do not have any direct line to my bank account, I'm not going to treat you any better or worse than I treat anybody else. But I also expect to be treated like a human, not better or worse than anybody else, but not like a dog, not like a servant, not like whatever. And when I say servant, I am very much the type of person that if you've got a cleaning lady, at least pay her well and be cordial. You do not, there's no reason to treat people that work for you like they are less than you are, because a person is a person regardless. And I have learned in my old age that the two things that work best for motivation are appreciation and fear. And I'm not one to want to waste all my energy making somebody afraid of me. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And the people that choose to want to yield some semblance of fear of retribution, fear of retaliation, fear of whatever the fuck they're afraid of. If that's how they want to run their lives, how is that even remotely peaceful? I don't even care if you think it's fun; it's still not peaceful. There's a lot of stress in that. I'm just like, I'm going to say thank you for the people that do the nice things, and I am not going to encourage anybody who doesn't. So, cause see you later, bye. That's the only way I find peace. you know? And so when people are like, why aren't you this? And why don't you this? Just because you do it doesn't mean that I'm going to do it. And again, it comes back to, well, it's not my fault you see things that way. It's not my fault that you think the world revolves around you. It's not my fault that you think that if you cry wolf 15 times that everybody's still going to come running. It is not my fault. You're fucking stupid. You know, and I, again, I'm not talking to anybody who is you know, mentally a little bit slow or
Hello?
whatever the proper terms are. I'm not talking about kids that are still learning. I am talking about grown ass fucking adults that should know better. I'm not going to sit there and carry your weight just because you're just like, I can't. Yeah, yes, the fuck you can. You know? I was like, but here's the thing. I have family members all raised by the same familial group, right? That some will sit there and cry and whine and complain and somebody always ends up doing the things, and then they sit there, you know, filing their nails or doing whatever the fuck they're going to do because they don't have to do what they were asked to do because somebody else already did it, because it's not worth all of that bullshit that they put you through. And I'm just like, oh, this is why I don't ask you to do anything and I don't do anything for you. Because if I can't ask you to grab me a pot holder without you wanting to throw fit because you're not in the kitchen to help me cook, you're in the kitchen to get yourself a bottle of water, well, get the fuck out of my kitchen, you know? But if you need help carrying whatever to whatever, the answer is I'm not here for you, because it's the same. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to. I don't know how to let them get away with doing nothing and then think that I'm supposed to do more for them just because they asked. I don't play this double-edged nonsense, you know. And so it's not just strangers. It's people that we know. It's I am not an easy person, but I will be everybody gets at least one chance, and I am as kind can be until you teach me I can no longer be kind without being taken advantage of. So I react to how people treat me. Otherwise, I treat everybody, you know, as I accept all the people because I don't give a shit. We're good. You don't pay my bills. Well, I'll take you as you are. You're good. So I don't know. I feel some kind of way. I'm not good in crowds. I don't deal with nonsense. I don't see why walking down the street means people have to bump into me, because I will automatically think you're trying to steal. You're trying to pick my pocket. You're trying to do
Yes.
whatever. I will give you a look and I will yell in your face. Don't fucking touch me. Because unless you are in some kind of general admission, whatever, where there's way too many people and not enough space, you don't have to touch people. You know what I mean? You don't have to go in, and I mean, if you trip and whatever, okay, but I'm still gonna think you stole from me. I will check all my pockets and all my things. And
Yeah.
I don't carry all of my cash, my cards, my ID, my bank card is in my titties whenever I go anywhere. And because a
Now
little harder,
everybody knows.
yeah, well, I mean, anybody who has titties should hide things in their titties. But I will
That's
also
that's
not
that's the
have
first place I'm gonna look.
and I will sit there and I will have a little bit of cash in every single one of my pockets, so that if they're going to stick their hand in my pocket, I'm not going to notice. Like my jean pocket, they're not going to take all my cash, and I can still get the fuck home, you know. And I will do
Oh,
my best not to have to carry a purse at all. When I used to go dancing, it was bank card, ID, lipstick. That was it. That was all I took in there with me, and I kept it in interior zipper pocket of whatever I was wearing, because I am very fucking paranoid. But you learn to be paranoid the second somebody tries to steal your shit, you know.
yeah.
So it sucks because I don't know. I mean, there's
You
always
shouldn't
been
have to.
exactly. There should be, you know, there should be an expectation not to be, you know, molested on your person. You know, I'm just saying. And there isn't. There just isn't. And so you take precautions. You do what you need to do. You have to expect that not everybody knows what manners even are. And there is no expectation for strangers to conform to what your idea of society is. So I would rather think the worst and be pleasantly surprised. So, I will take being an a-hole. So before we get into the poetry, is there anything that either one of you wanted to add? Because I ranted on today.
No, I'm pretty much in agreement with you. And I ran it on for a good 5, 10 minutes before you started to rant on. So we're good.
It's funny. It is 11 o'clock. I think we're just going to do the announcements at the end so we can get through all of our things.
Okay.
So this is Can't Pick Up That 710 Split When You're 50-50 Down the Middle by moi, Pretty Bird. And it goes like this. I'm not stupid. Then again, smart is not a quotient, like beauty is not some algorithm of symmetry, and they most certainly are not mutually exclusive. I mean, maybe they are in the recesses of a mind that splits me in two. Run for my rapier wit. I won't judge like I won't judge you for not knowing what a rapier is. I am not too pretty to cry despite what you think is flattering. Pretty, beautiful, gorgeous, stunning, and all I hear is the grating snapping of synapses, losing IQ points just listening to the perception of beauty making women less than, just so that they're easier to talk to. So eternally torn between logic and passion, heart and mind, a 50-50 split down the center of indecision, I ruminate until time is nearly up. And in those moments before the choice is removed, I know quite clearly that logic is how the race is won, slow and steady, respectable, reliable, a safe bet, a good life in plus or minus one, where zero is the average day. Passion burns a heart unrecognizable when it fails. Wrong choices birth elation and sorrow too close to approximate or define what love could be. Mistakes. Well, emotions are not mistakes. Joy, however fleeting, is not a mistake, and the price is the possibility of sorrow. That's life, in plus or minus 100, where there is no baseline. Intuit life, crunching logic into hopes for a future and failing more often than not, for I was never meant for complacency. The good in logic, baby steps forward are still forward, but sentient beings cannot think away connections and forge joy in absolute zero. Emotion is irrational. One day I'll stop trying to rationalize pain and work the odds. One day I'll accept that chances are worth taking without the torture of overthinking the safe route. One day, will easily give way to the passion that is the blood we live by. One day, when I'm not a 50-50 split of indecision. And poem.
You kill me. You kill me, you kill me, you kill me.
Zombie.
Why can you not be pretty and smart at the same time? Why do you have to be either one or the other? You can be pretty and smart. I swear you can. I know you can, for I am both, you dumbasses. Just so that you know. And I will take my rapier and stab you over and over again. Just FYI.
I was just going to say that's what he said, but I thought better of it.
Oh, I lose IQ points just listening to the perception of beauty making women less than, just so they're easier to talk to. Because I certainly cannot talk sports or politics or algorithms or mathematics or space or time or anything but how pretty I look in red nail polish. Oh,
Seriously.
just, I love this because it is so true about how we are looked at sometimes. And, I just, there's so much humor underneath the bitterness. It's quite enlightening. And I really do.
It's funny because it's true.
It is so
Exactly.
true. One day I'll stop trying to rationalize pain and work the odds. One day I'll accept the chances are worth talking without the torture of overthinking the safe route. One day I might show you up and show you that you're as dumb as a rock and I can outtalk you in any subject you might want to talk about. Oh, one day we will easily give away
Even
the
if you are my teacher.
yeah, my teacher, my
I,
preacher, whatever it may be. One day I'm going to show you that I'm smarter than you. One day when I'm not a 50-50 split of indecision. I just, there's just this persona that we hold back. I mean, we just hold back. God forbid you want to be perceived as smarter than the man in front of you. Oh, I was actually taught that as a young girl. Don't make them think you're smarter. It
Yeah,
just,
boys don't like smart girls.
no, I, God, don't be the smartest girl in the room, because you'll be with a bunch of boys. Okay, I won't. Oh, but then you're told you better know everything about a little bit about every subject because you want to be able to talk to them. So know about their favorite sports team and know about what they're working on and know about, but don't let them know you know. Just casually talk about what they're doing. Okay, so freaking confusing. Oh, this is great. Absolutely brilliant. Raconteur, your thoughts.
I think I want to go bowling with you. Um, I, I enjoy this. And for me, especially after the times that we've spent and hung out and whatnot, um, it feels like you don't want to hide who you are for anybody. You're not going to pretend to be dumb because that's not who you are. And it's more. It comes across to me more frustration than any kind of bitterness. It's like, why does it have to be that way? Why aren't the two things mutually exclusive? That idea that people want to put you in that box, and cut off your legs or however they're going to fit you in there. That whole metaphor that we've discussed in the past about all of that stuff, and then Helena comes into the picture, and it really, I mean, it's unfortunate. It really is. And the fact that people still live that way. I think it's just a testament to the way times are. Because there's people that grew up that way. They don't know any differently, and I'm not making excuses for them or anything. I'm just like, kind of understanding the influence of the environment sometimes, and even sometimes it's our own damn fault because that's how we, I won't say coddle, but shield or hide, things from other people sometimes, and that's how they learn. That's what they think, and then they come to expect it, and it's just it's not right, and they don't understand that until they learn differently, and someone puts them in their place and says, I understood that, right? It's oh, really? Yeah. So you're not just a pretty face. I love that expression, but again, at the same time, it's like, it brings about the exact thing that's frustrating you. It's like, well, the two are not necessarily mutually exclusive, and again, people that don't want to understand that, you know, don't understand. Guess what? Under the right circumstances, you could have it all. So it's a lovely piece that very observational. Like a Seinfeld almost, because that was yeah, that's what I loved about his comedy. There was always something relatable, always something that you could pick the truth out of. It's like, he's not wrong, but at the same time, it's like, but it's frustrating because he's right. And the fact that people have to deal with that, and learn to accept it. Well, I guess that's the point too. You don't really have to learn to accept it. You could mouth off, or you could walk away, or you've got options. It's just not going to necessarily be the ones that the person's expecting sometimes. So yeah, this piece brings all of that out, and I love it.
I'm gonna tell the story about the I had on uh so our group where you can get the link every show to join us in the studio and have your poems read and all that stuff is on allpoetry.com. Just type in pretty sweet distractions, our standard shit, follow the shoes, all the same crap. um So I don't have my face on there. I don't have my face on any other poetry site. I don't have my face on any communal pages. I don't, because I put my face up for less than an hour and a half. And I was so disgusted. I got comments like, "You're too pretty to be so sad," when reading poems. That poetry
Oh.
tends to be emotional. "Oh, can't you just smile?" Which is, everybody's generic go-to, and but it's that you're too pretty to be this sad, or I can put a smile on your face, and I'm just like, oh, ew. This I why do people think that if you're putting anything creative out there that has any emotion on it, that you're needy, you're broken, and they can help spackle your cracks? And I mean that as gross as it freaking sounds. And it's unfortunate the way the internet is predatory to anybody who might be in need of a shoulder or an ear or something so innocent, that now they're taken advantage of by somebody who actually enjoys those, and I'm finger quoting, compliments. That was not a compliment. That was not "You're too pretty to be so sad." So what? I'm not allowed to feel things? That, because that's how I would take it. I'm like, what, you're diminishing
Yeah.
the emotion that I'm writing with, because you would rather see me smile, like my feelings don't matter. You don't even freaking know me. And they think that they said, "Oh no, you're so pretty. I wish you would just smile." And how is that any different? I did not invite you to tell me what I look like. I have a mirror. Whether I like it or don't, that has nothing to do with you. That's them wanting somebody, wanting a toe in the door to get,
Yes.
to learn more, to take advantage of things, to be the person you lean on, and then all of a sudden, look, here's my wiener. And I say that in all seriousness, because I have so many unsolicited freaking eggplants that is laughable, laughable. And I will screenshot them with the account name and all the information, date, all the things, send it back to them and be like, "If you send me another one, this is going everywhere." And I've only ever had to do it once, because people think that if you are needy, if you are broken, if they perceive that you need to feel wanted or loved, that they're going to give you superficial, stranger, whatever, and then all of a sudden, "I'll show you how, I'll show you what love is. Here's my wiener." And it's unfortunate. It really is, because I don't know a single woman, I don't care how much of a hoe she is, that sends unsolicited badge. Never, not one time do they
Oh
send,
my God.
here's all my lips out. It's usually if the conversation is getting spicy, or, they've already been tits out, or there's already been a little bit of something, or if there's been a hint of whatever,
Oh.
or talks of desire, people might do what they do. But I don't know anybody who is literally going to sit there and just stand over a mirror and be like, "Here's my happy flappies," and send them to random
Actually,
strangers. I literally
actually.
I know. I literally have gotten eggplants from people that I haven't spoken 2 words to, you know? And I'm just like, "What makes you think that I want to see that?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, but I don't recognize this wiener, goodbye." And and they're like, "Well, I know what you want. Now it's gonna be in your dreams." No, no, the fuck it's not. I promise. And it's unfortunate that people do this, and for the women that do, nah, yeah, you're gross.
I was
Go
it happened to me once. There was a girl I was talking to, and I was innocently asking for a picture, and next thing you know, I got the happy flappies, and my response was, "Do you have a face?" I mean, I was not expecting that.
Were you at least
And
being
then
flirty?
um the thing in the back of my mind that overrode everything else, and not just that it was that kind of situation. My mind went to, how did you take that picture? She sat on the copy machine, and
Well,
and
sure, you gotta hover over a mirror.
well, I mean, this was how she said she did it, and this was back in the days, I guess, when you had to be creative. I don't know. I don't
Look,
know. I
me
just
are
my
hot.
mind my mind never puzzled it through. My mind never conceived of like, the I'm like, in the real world, things like this happen, but when they happen to you, it's like, oh, really, that just happened. And it kind of blew my mind a little bit, but and
And not you
obviously
getting
I'm
that
talking about
way
it.
from a bunch of random weirdos that you've never even,
Right.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate. It's
Yeah.
invasive. It's not okay. And when you said pos for possibilities, my head absolutely heard possibilities. No lie. I am
Puss and boot abilities.
there is something. But it's unfortunate what people do. It's unfortunate how people diminish actual emotions, take advantage of whatever is broken or whatever they perceive as broken, whatever,
Oh,
you know, poor little helpless girl, which I find so freaking offensive. It's not even funny. And I get that as far as personalities go, I tend to lean on the masculine side of a personality. I'm very strong-willed. I'm not afraid of confrontation. I'm not afraid to speak my mind. I don't ask because I'll tell you. And I get that none of that is evil. I understand that. I also don't give a shit because that to me, that has nothing to do with being a woman, being feminine, being vulnerable, being whatever. What I show to you is directly relational to how important you are to me. You know, if you do not matter to me, you don't get my soft underbelly. That is not for you. You know? My pain, my sadness, my weaknesses, my self-doubt, all of that unfortunateness is saved for the people that I trust, which are few and far between. They are for my people, for my chosen family. They are for people that I know are not going to go and spew it forth in
people.
unfortunate ways. You have to earn that spot. And I get that it sucks that as beautiful as I find it, it may not be beautiful to everybody, that when somebody lets you in to their deepest, darkest unfortunateness, that's a testament to how much you mean to them, you know?
Yes,
That's it. Unless
absolutely.
you're the unfortunate one that wants to make everybody feel sad for you and you tell everybody your shit. I don't count that. But so the closer you are to somebody, the more privileged information they're willing to share with you. And I find that to truly be privilege. It is what love looks like in part. That trust, that nakedness, that you know you have to feel safe
Vulnerability.
enough to be that vulnerable. And I find that to be amazing. And I don't let everybody in there. So if all you see is this, I don't know you that way. I'm just saying. So sweet. Do you want to read
Yeah,
back?
I can read back.
Awesome.
Come on. So What? By Raconteur. What's the bigger picture? What does it really mean? Sometimes you need to stop and ask yourself, what will I accomplish if I throw my head back and scream? Oh, sure, it might feel good, and certainly let the demons out. I imagine there are medical benefits concerning your grief in vocalizing a sustained shout. Maybe I need to rethink this. It's easy to understand why someone might need to rage when things have gotten out of hand. In fact, screaming doesn't always represent pain. Sometimes they're signs of pleasure. You can find them in your nightmares or softly whispered by the one you treasure. So throw your head back and wail. Enjoy a moment of release. Be careful not to be too loud, lest your neighbors call the police. End poem.
That's okay. So there's something to be said about the catharsis of a full body scream. Now, that doesn't happen very easily to me and in public and whatnot, but there's something to be said because if you've ever told somebody off wholeheartedly, it's exhausting. It Everything tenses up. It comes from like from your guts, and it's a full body experience. So if you don't need to pair that with aggression and anger, if you just need to let it out like the people that stand on top of skyscrapers and just scream into the wind, it can be very physically relaxing because it's exhausting to exert yourself that way, even for a short period of time. So when that's done, it's great. Now, when you pair that with all the little deaths your body can stand, when you pair that with the art of love, when you pair that with the good things and you have zero inhibitions, so your body's going to sound like what your body sounds like and you're not holding anything back, that is amazing. And I promise you will sleep better than you have before. It is awesome. Now, in a hotel room full of people, if you have thin walls in your apartment and all of that stuff, yes, noise complaints are a thing. So are gags. I said nothing. So, um, so I kind of love this because it's, what will I accomplish if I throw my head back and scream? You know, if it's in a moment of anger and you're telling somebody off, that's an excellent fucking question. Because it'll do, more damage it could possibly do more damage to somebody's psyche than you intended, and may not feel physically relaxing enough or release enough tension to make that a balanced equation, if that's ever going to be a balanced equation. But when you twist this down here, well, it doesn't always represent pain. Sometimes there's signs of pleasure. I'm like, oh my, see that's a different story. That is indeed a happy place, or it can be a happy place. It can also be a learned happy place. So don't knock it till you tried it. It's really kind of awesome. But yeah, there's a good chance if your walls are thin that your neighbors aren't gonna appreciate you screaming all the things at 3 o'clock in the morning. So careful. I am just saying. So, Sweet Pea, your thoughts?
Oh, if I couldn't turn my head back and let out a primal scream once in a while, I don't think I'd make it. Um, it's just that, leave me the hell alone. I just have to let it out. It's like a pressure cooker. You build up all that steam and all that craziness, and you just have to finally let it go. You just have to. I am walk into the quietness of the woods, and, if nobody hears Sweet Pea scream, did she really scream? Um, I really like this because I think it's, a way to let pressure go, and I'm definitely one of the people that do this. So it's not just a poem for me; it's a reality for me. uh,
If
but
Sweet Pea screams in a hotel room and there's nobody at the ice machine to hear it.
right, and no, I've walked to the woods and just let it go. It's like, let the world, don't scream at the world. Just scream in the quietness of your own space.
It's funny. I tend to sing at the top of my lungs. Does that count?
Yes.
Yes.
And one of my kids will be all, "I want to do karaoke at the middle of the freaking night." And all right, it's
Let's
on.
go.
And I love these kids. They're freaking awesome.
Time
Bring
for me
it.
to go.
I have turned my third oldest over to the dark side. I asked him to start watching Grey's Anatomy with me, like season 1, because he's never seen it. And we're on episode 9. He's like, "You can't watch it until I come tomorrow. We'll start again." And I'm just like, "Oh, sweet Jesus!" I was like, "Ha ha, I love you," because I think it's freaking fabulous. And I have ruined them all in such different ways. It's fine. I do have our Mr. Titus on the board. It's been a hot minute since we've had Titus Llewellyn up here because, we lost him. Anyways, he's no longer with us, and I'm not going to cry about it, so I'm going to shut up. But I love this poem, and I could not have "It's Not My Fault You're Stupid" kind of time without "Why Should I Fucking Change" by Titus Llewellyn. This, as far as I am aware, is his only true spoken word poem. And it's the best fucking thing. So here we go. This is Why Should I Fucking Change by Titus Llewellyn. And it goes like this. They keep asking when I decided to stop behaving, as if language comes with a dress code and I missed the memo taped to the inside of my skull. They say, this doesn't sound finished. This doesn't sound civil. This doesn't sound like poetry. And I wonder when poetry started needing permission slips from idiots with tenure and bastards with curated opinions. I didn't fall out of rhyme. Rhyme walked away from me, buttoned its coat, said it had better things to do than stand in the rain with my mouth open. So now I speak sideways. I speak with gravel in my throat. I speak like someone who's been corrected too many times by people who've never bled on a page. They judge the mess, not the survival. They flinch at the smear, not the wound. Shit happens. That's not vulgar, that's accounting. Life doesn't scan. Pain doesn't care about meter, and grief sure as hell doesn't wait for a couplet to feel ready. I've been called bitter, difficult, undisciplined. Words used by tidy minds who mistake obedience for craft. They want polish. I want oxygen. They want restraint. I want to finish the sentence before it strangles me. And somewhere along the way, poetry became a gated community, and I was expected to mow the lawn instead of tearing down the fence. So, yes, I'm estranged. I stand outside the circle watching them congratulate each other for saying nothing beautifully. I call bullshit when bullshit shows up wearing credentials. I call bastards bastards because euphemisms are how rot spreads quietly. If that makes me unfit, unrefined, unwelcome, fine. I didn't come here to be likable. I came here to be accurate. I don't owe rhyme my loyalty. I don't owe tradition my silence. And I don't owe anyone an apology for choosing a voice that sounds like a human being under pressure. Let them judge. Let them whisper. Let them write essays about what I should have done. I will keep writing like the world is loud, like time is short, like truth sometimes needs teeth. And if they can't hear music in that, that's their deafness, not my failure, which has brought about this end. I have fucking had enough. End poem. Um, and I love this. First of all, Titus does not curse. we might have broken him a little bit. I'm just saying. And this is absolutely perfect. People are so judgmental. You're doing this wrong. I could have done it better, and you should have done this. And why didn't you do that? And this isn't what this is, and yada yada blah blah blah. You can't please everybody. Why try to please anybody? When it comes to art or the things that you feel pulled to do, whether they're creative, whether they're logical, whatever it is, you need to forge your own path. It needs to be something that you are comfortable with, that you are happy with, that you are proud of. Doesn't matter if anybody else likes it. If it is worth something to you to create, it is worth something. And in time, in front of the right people, it'll be worth something to somebody else. And it takes a lot of negativity. It takes a lot of insults. It takes a lot of judgment. It takes a lot of criticism to get to the point where it's like, I don't fucking write for you. You know, you don't have to like it. You don't have to read it. I don't give a crap what you think. And it takes a lot to get there because writing, especially poetry, is a very emotional, very personal thing. And so when somebody's like, well, I don't like it, oftentimes it's like an attack on our feelings. Like what we're feeling is wrong. We're not good enough. Like it's not good enough. Like I like nothing we do is good enough. It has nothing to do with being good enough or being enough of anything. It has everything to do with if this is how you're going to emote, if this is how you are going to purge, if this is how you need to express yourself in order to function like a fully cognizant human being, then that's how it needs to be done. And you can't really get to the other side of that without going through it, because everybody has an opinion, and most of the time we don't ask for it, we don't want it, we don't particularly give a shit, and you're wrong. People misunderstand, or they um they're like, well, this would be better and that would be I am guilty. Ask Rack. I am guilty. I am guilty. I'm like, well, have you considered this word? But a singular word choice is not the same as, I'm going to rewrite this and rewrite this, and it would read better like this. And somebody wants to rewrite your whole entire shit. I'm like, oh, pretentious asshole. The answer is no. Now you're generic. Go away. You are not my friend. And it's insulting. And when you get to the point where it's like, I don't give a shit, where it's all I call bullshit when when it shows up wearing credentials. And I mean, he has degrees in poetry and philosophy and all of these things. It's not like he was ever unintelligent. It's not like he didn't know what he was doing. And I encourage everybody to go and find him on Spotify, on All Poetry, anywhere, that just type in Titus Llewellyn and look at the poetry. He was freaking brilliant, and his word choices were exquisite. And people still wanted to tell him how wrong he was and how they could improve. And
Mhm.
you can't. You really just can't. Everybody has a preference. None of it really matters. And an opinion is an opinion. No need to break anybody down to have one. I am just saying that is the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. But this poem is spectacular. And I think that we have all been there, not just about writing, about life in general. How many times have we been told we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not, pretty enough, we're not tall enough, we're not skinny enough, we're not young enough, we're not old enough, whatever the fuck it is. People have an opinion that want to squelch others and make them small and dim them so somebody else's light shines brighter, so somebody else feels bigger about themselves. And that is not what a good life looks like. If you have to sit there and make somebody small to feel like you're worth a damn, then I'm sorry, you're not. If you can sit there and encourage the good and not feel like you're less than, that is where the value is. That is where um your life then is as bright as all those lights that you let shine with you, because it only adds to the brightness and when nobody's diminished. And most people don't see it that way. Most people see it as their duty. Well, I'm just trying to help. I don't want you to look stupid now. Well, you're doing a good job of that all by yourself, you know? And so I absolutely love this. Absolutely love this. And it's Titus. So, Sweet Pea, your thoughts?
Oh, it's so hard to look at this poem and not just want to tell everybody else to go to hell. You cannot just not just be negative about this because there's so much truth in it. It's a lesson in. I don't care what kind of poetry you write. Always let emotion lead with. Your pen should lead with emotion, with passion, with things that move you. Poetry is not about um, the everything like the. I don't want to say it's not about making sure your grammar's right or making sure you use punctuation and all of that. But when it gets to be, everything has to be so black and white and you have to do this and you have to do that. If you pour so many rules into poetry, it loses its passion. It loses what it's there for. And I think that's what he was saying. You look at his notes and it says, I'm tired of being judged. I've done this since 2000 and whatever it is, two, or it's at the top of his poem. And now I'm going to end with free verse. And free verse is just a pouring out of emotion or a pouring out of whatever. And um, Titus didn't do a lot of free verse. He was very much a form poet, Shakespearean. I mean, he did so many great poems and sonnets and, all these great forms. Every time I saw one, I'm like, oh, I got to learn how to do that one, or I've got to learn how to do this one. And I didn't get to the A, B, C, D one, which I still am going to do, which is very difficult, but I'm going to do it because him and I talked about it. And I just love the message of you're forgetting passion, you're forgetting beauty, you're forgetting everything that's supposed to be in it. Words on a page don't mean shit if there's not the message of love, beauty, passion, and I love that about him. I love that every poem I've ever read from him has those elements in it. And if you want to judge him because he has passion in his poems, don't read poetry. I just believe that wholeheartedly. Just don't read it. As you're too, as we're talking about, I can't help it. If you're stupid, you know, if you're just going to sit there and criticize, well, this doesn't have the beat of 425, whatever, you're too dumb to read it because you don't get the point that poetry is about love and passion and all of that. And that's exactly what he was talking about. Just get over yourself. You're not a critic. So I'll be done with that. And Rack, your thoughts.
I think I got lost.
We're talking about Why Should I Fucking Change by Titus.
Oh my God, yes. I was still that's still one of my favorite pieces by him. When he came out with that, I mean, every word it's gospel. It really is. It's the idea of it, the word choices, the people trying to tell you your opinion and justify why you're saying what you're saying, and all the things, all the emotion behind it, and even just something as simple as the expression of bleeding on the page. It's like you don't know what that means to him, until you've lived it. It's such an experience. It's such a um, I mean, experience is the best word for it. And to experience it in his words like that, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And like I said, I would go so far as to say, this is the life experience of someone that's lived how they lived, and just put this stuff on paper to make a point in a way that's just too beautiful for words. It's hard to even look at and not be in awe of it for me, because it's everything. I would want to say it's just brilliant. That's the only thing I could say about it. It's just sheer brilliance, and um, I wish he heard more people comment on it, and what they thought about it, and how they understood it, and how it made them feel, because I know that would tickle him. So I really appreciated it.
Yeah. I will forever be heartbroken. The world was a much better place with him in it. I'm just saying. But not to dwell on the sadness, because I will full on boo-hoo just like a giant crying idiot. So Sweet Pea, you are up. Are you ready?
Yes.
Awesome.
This is My Mountains Are Smarter Than You by Sweet Pea. The cold winds of winter will be calling soon. For mountain folk, it calls mostly fools. They pack up useless gear, call themselves mountaineers. Every winter, 4 or 5 disappear. Some believe they can ski backcountry bowls until an avalanche takes control, tossing them like hollow scarecrows. Stupid hikers swear they don't need a map. Points of nature will guide their tracks until nightfall, when they pee their pants, listening to wolves howl at their backs. Ski bunnies in flimsy clothes look real pretty with black toes. Overdressed, you sweat, heat exhaustion, you're a wreck. Flatlanders, are you dizzy, out of breath? Altitude sickness has taken hold. Winter winds are calling soon. Frozen mountains call the fools. From the sea to thinning air, seek adventure in the cold. Stupid people, let it be known, just stay home. End poem.
That would be me. I would be the stupid people. Okay, first I have to
No,
tell the story because you
those are like
said
on the mountains or the other ones.
yes, my mountains are smarter than you, and it took me back to my mother's "fuck you" shirt because my father always wore things like "I married a nun, none in the morning, none at night," and so my mom was like, "Stop wearing that stuff. You make me look like an asshole." And he's just like, "No, it's funny." So she got one that was kind of reminiscent of Bush beer, and it said across the top, "If you like my mountains," and across the bottom on the oversized T-shirt says, "You'll love my bush." And he stopped wearing those things for a long fucking time. So he said, "My mountains are smarter than you." I went full titties in my head because if you like my mountains, you'll love my bush. So, I get it from my mama. And I'm not sorry. So I'm
I
loving
got it
that.
from your mama too.
OMG. And so I'm loving this because I'm all the stupid things. First of all, I don't mountain, I see. And so my ocean is where the unfortunate thickness of air comes from, but it's also where all the oxygen is. And my lungs are bad, so I will not be climbing those thousands of feet to my death of just breathing. But I've never seen. I used to love the 1980s and 90s, those ridiculous ski movies, that are just like Better Off Dead, where they're skiing down the mountain on one ski and whatever. Anyways, I used to love watching that because I'm like, well, all of that stuff looks fun. The reality is, yes, snow is hard. You know,
It's hard.
I would fall. Oh, listen, when you've got those ski tracks, the one time I was anywhere with them where that's compressed, it is hard. And it is not it's not okay. It is not. I mean, it's not ice on cement hard, but it's not freaking soft. I ride, wave runners and freaking water is hard and that's water, you know? And the faster you go, the harder it is. But I have zero desire
Wow.
to do any of that. I like watching other people do it. I fell off a skateboard on a little tiny mini little fucking ramp. Never again. I don't, but I would love watching all my friends on there at the top just dropping in. And I'm just like, that's how I die. The answer is hell no. But I liked watching other people do it because I know that I am not very athletic that way. I mean, I can ride a wave runner. I can do things like that. I cannot, however, I can swim, I can boogie board, I can do all of those things, but I am not one to be um in the highness of the lack of oxygen and then be physically exhausted where I'm taking deep breaths and not catching any air. That scares the shit out of me. And but that's in my old age. In my young age, I can't be landlocked. But I love this because everybody's like, I'm gonna go on vacation and ooh, let's go skiing and ooh, let's go this. And they really don't give themselves time, or that they take their friends that have never been and nobody warns them because they think everybody knows that no, you're not gonna be able to breathe the same. The air is different, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I was talking to Rack the other day about being in New York the day after Christmas, several years ago, and it was 19 degrees, and my uncle was telling us, "You need to walk the Brooklyn Bridge." I have been there, done that. I will take the subway and meet you on the other side. I don't need to walk that shit again because it's long. And they're like, "No, you need to walk it with us." And I was sweating balls. I left with an undershirt, a t-shirt, a sweater, and a big old jacket. I had that jacket around my waist. I was about to take off the sweater. I was sweating balls, and because I was booking it across the fucking thing because I was mad. And they're like, "You're going to catch a death of cold." I'm like, "I'm sweating. Leave me alone. Let me settle in." And people don't realize that when you are exerting yourself, you can very easily overheat, even when it's 19 degrees. And so if you're up there, you can't breathe, and now you're sweaty, and then people don't realize that you still, the sun reflects off the snow, and now you get the wind burn, you get the sunburn, you get all the stuff. They're like, "How the hell did this happen?" Um, Nature, you know,
Yeah.
weather, the outside. And it's funny because people don't do research. Like, how many people come to Florida without realizing that it's the shark attack capital of the world, not of the country, of the world, with Volusia County on the East Coast, I guess it's Central Florida, having the most anywhere. And people, and that's also where you can drive your cars on the beach, like and park and have a whole day right there. It's freaking fabulous. But also, you there's a high likelihood somebody's going to taste you a little bit, you know, and people and they don't realize it. Or these are also people that, despite the signs being, beware of gators, that every body of water in Florida has a likelihood of some kind of gator population. People want to put their kids in the water, and they want to walk their dogs on the edge of the water. Oh, how lovely is, yeah, that is food. You are now
Hors
food,
d'oeuvres.
you know.
Yeah, you don't. You do not walk. That is the
You
one thing that
don't.
scares me more than anything going to Florida is the gators.
Well, I used to go, and we used to do wave runners in this big old lake down south, right in South Florida. And it wasn't a problem. You want to know why it wasn't a problem? Because where all the
You
people
didn't
were,
know.
there wasn't a lot of grass and bushes and places to hide on the shore. Everything was out in the open. You can see everything. Gators are not ones to want to just bask like iguana, like in masses. They're going to go to the other side where there's all these things. So you don't want to go riding over there, you know?
Right.
Um, but there was no fear on this side because it was a really big lake, and you could see everything coming and going. But if you're going to go in the Everglades, if you're going to go in, like, there's a state park down there, Jonathan Dickinson State Park, where it is all kind of untouched Florida. The answer is, when you take that 3-hour canoe ride, that, to whatever that the places at the Trapper John's, I think, is actually the name of it, where some old alligator trapper used to live, and all the stuff is still there. You have to go all the way down there to that little island, then you have to come all the way back. I accidentally oared an alligator in the face, and then I freaked the fuck out. And I don't know if y'all have ever been in a canoe. They look all fine and dandy, but when you sit in them, they're maybe 5 or 6 inches, the top of that, over the water,
Over the
and
water.
that is it. And so when you oar an alligator in the face, I literally was like, we're going to die. We're going to die. And I did it to myself. And you can't even move a little bit because the thing starts to sway. And then you're even closer to the top of the water. And I'm like, they don't even have to jump in here. They're going to swim in here. Oh, did I freak out? I freaked out. I didn't like yell and scream or whatever, but I sure didn't row for a while. And my partner was very much, it is a long way back. Can you help me out a little bit? I'm like, I'm sorry. And but from that moment on, he was like, gator on your left, gator on your right. And I'm just like, whoo, all right, because I wasn't paying any attention, because all you see is the eyes, and the eyes look like turtle bubbles, and it's just the most ridiculous thing. So if people don't do research of where they're going and what they want to do, that's on them. That is absolutely on them. I mean, the
Tourists.
rumors are real. I am just saying, you know. So, Raconteur, your thoughts.
I mean, this to me screams of know your limitations. Why would you put yourself in a situation where you I don't know. The same way I guess Sweet was talking earlier about not understanding about the doors or whatever it is that was vexing her. All the things. This is all of that put it, and it's nature putting it on you. So it's very I mean, like, touristy is probably the best word because you're putting people out of their elements, and they're going to prove how stupid they are. They're just the natural selection, I believe it's called. It's a, it's, oh my God! I mean, you don't deserve to survive. It's like nature's going to take care of that for me. I'm okay.
Uh,
Uh,
I
yeah,
am
but
telling
in the
you.
states that spends thousands of dollars rescuing these people, and it's just crazy that they come from all parts of the country or even the world, and they end up getting themselves in these predicaments, and it's just Every year it's like, okay, that's the first one, that's the second one, you know.
I I mean, yeah, I almost want to blame the tourism bureau because they make it attractive. They make it look like, look how beautiful, look how much fun they're having. And
What
then
they
you get
need.
in the middle of the situation and you realize, oh, yeah, this is fun a minute ago, but now it's kind of, I'm clinging to the rocks by my fingernails. It's just, I don't know.
Or I've hit a tree skiing, and usually a couple people unfortunately lose their lives because they don't know their limits skiing, and they hit trees or they go over the wrong rock, and it's very sad. Don't ski a double diamond if you've only ever been on a green run.
Yeah, I'm sure that that means something, but I don't even snow.
A double diamond is very
Hard,
high
The
and
and high.
trail.
the green is, I'm
Yeah,
assuming, novice.
yeah, and green is baby trail.
Yeah, I will never be a snow bunny, and that's okay.
Snow Bunny loves you.
It
OMG.
used to be fun. I used to love to ski, but then I broke my ankle and I can't put on ski boots anymore. And I'm, I would never ski, never. But I know
Yeah,
this about myself now, so we're good.
that's good because some people never learn.
Yeah.
All right, this is Contagion in the Eyes of Others by moi, Pretty Bird, and it goes like this. Do not look at me with sad eyes reflecting a life you chose to hate. Good intentions backed by bad juju. I see it behind your dead end job, hidden in your lack of hobbies. There in the emptiness in your mind is the remnants of a dream that you let atrophy. As it got weak, you got stuck in place. You thought you would, you thought, as it got weak, you got stuck in a place you thought would be another stepping stone. Do not look at me with eyes shooting bile behind a smile that breeds contempt. I refuse to be touched by your silent hope of my failure. You cannot kill my dreams just because you let yours die. Do not look at me with eyes that plead for me to carry you along for my ride. It is mine alone. My dream cannot feed you. I will not lay it at your feet to sully its purity with the soles of the shoes you use to walk through your own crap. Do not look at me with the hope that my dreams will give their life for yours. Smile and the world smiles with you only works when hope springs eternal, and there is no hope in that job that grows while watching your soul die. So I do not smile as I walk down the street. I look straight ahead, holding fast to all that makes me whole. And if I do look at you, I look at you with kindness and I am happy for your success. I look at you with understanding, for we are all going through the consequences of our choices. I look at you with hope that you see me and remember you once had a dream. I look at you and wish you love and peace, and maybe reflected in my eyes, you can see the best of who you are. End poem.
Wow. I will not lay at your feet to sully its purity with the soles of the shoes you use to walk through your own crap. I love that. Um, do not look at me with the hopes that my dreams will give their life for you. I think there are a lot of people that like to jump on our coattails, especially if they think that, you know, well, look at what you're doing. I can just jump on yours and, you know, I'll look good because I'm with you. Or I'll look good in your dreams because I don't have anything. Or I've lost everything that I have. So, hey, can I ride along with you? I really think there are too many people that do that. Smile and the world smiles with you only works when hope springs eternal. You kind of wrapped it off really good. I look at you and wish you love and peace, and maybe reflected in my eyes, you can see the best of who you are. Instead, they're just begging on you and loving on you and like, oh, I know you can take us far. You can do this for us.
Oh, there's no love there. There's like, well, if she can, I definitely can. Oh, I'll try to make you feel like shit and be like, "Are you sure? Are you
Yeah,
sure that's where you want to go? Are you sure that that's the right choice?" That kind of looks stupid, right? While they're just trying to do something similar to and call it their idea. The people suck.
yeah, people do suck. It's always, on your coattails, and it's always their idea,
Mm-hmm.
always. I just, I just can't get over. I will not sully its purity with the soles of the shoe you use to walk through your own crap. Oh, they do want to put their stamp on you, don't they? It's like,
They do.
oh,
They
don't
want to
let.
smush you into the ground.
Yeah, I just love that because it says everything. It's like, well, you are a piece of shit, and I can walk all over you. It doesn't matter. I just the way you word things sometimes just blows me away. My dream cannot feed you. Of course it can, because I'm the one that made it up. It's always like, you're trying to ride on the back of Superman's cape. I really, I refuse to be touched by the silent hope, or by your silent hope of my failures. Oh God, people are suck. People are just they suck, as you like to say. I love this. You just have a way with, you know, speaking the truth in a brilliant way. Interact your thoughts.
See, there's a tone to this that makes it so beautiful to me. The way that people choose to look at it or hear it, I think, is very telling, because what I hear is somebody that the idea of supporting somebody that you care about, of wishing them well, of hoping that their dreams come true, and wishing them all the success in the world, and not measuring yourself against it. Not trying to tear them down for not reaching it or not succeeding. All those things I see in this, and to me, that's the right idea. That's the way things are supposed to be. And it may sound bleak, but it sounds bleak because well, people suck, like you say, and they don't choose to look at it that way. They choose to see it the other way, and be like, well, if you can do it, well, why ain't I succeeding? Why that they want to tear you down, and all the things that are wrapped up in that, and you know and you're just sitting there trying to be like, I'm wishing you all the best, and my your failure does, and my dreams are two separate things. And again, in a relationship, and especially when you care about someone, and they mean more to you than just the average person. You want to see them succeed. Their success is your success. It's like it makes you feel good and warm and fuzzy, and be like, I'm proud of you. And those are words that a lot of us haven't heard enough in our lives. So when someone tries to tear you down, it just feeds into that, and makes it that much, amplifies it that much worse. It's like, yeah, you know instead of saying, I'm glad you got this promotion, or you're going to go places or whatever. They want to be like, well, you could have did that differently, right? And it's like, why are you criticizing me? Why are you harshing my buzz, man? I mean, I yeah, I mean, that's what I hear in this. And again, to me, the idea of it, because it's like something that I strongly agree with. It's the right attitude to have, I think. And it may sound doom and gloom, but again, I blame that on everyone that doesn't live their life that way, that doesn't understand that, oh, well, why wouldn't you want to support someone you care about? Why wouldn't you want to be, positive? Yeah, I understand the frustration in it. Oh my God! But yeah, I think this is absolutely beautiful.
I appreciate that. All right, so we are at the end of the show, and it's time for announcements. Finally, finally, finally. So, Sweet Pea, what is coming up on Thursday?
What is coming up on Thursday? Well, We have back to school. Back to school for all those kids that kept you on your toes all summer. Time to breathe and take a moment for yourself. Or is it? Between helping with homework assignments, making cookies for the class, and all those extra after school expectations, can you enjoy the solitude of your own company? And that is what's coming up Thursday.
And on Tuesday, it's everybody needs a shrink. I'm not crazy, you're crazy. Since crazy is subjective, we really all have our moments. Whether we're misconstrued or pushed to the edge of sanity, we have all been off our game at some point. In a world where we can still feel invisible, surrounded by people, we could all use someone to talk to. These days, there's an app for that. Crazy or not, sometimes everybody needs a shrink. That is on Tuesday.
And on Thursday, we've got Summer Lovin'. Summer Lovin' is a whirlwind of swamp ass and romance. With long days of magical nights that spark connection, summer is the season for adventure.
So that is what is coming up over the next couple of weeks. And if you want to listen to all of our archives, you can go to prettysweet.podbean.com or look for us wherever you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcast, all the places. Type in Pretty Sweet, P-R-T-T-Y Sweet, and click on the red shoes and follow us. The hundreds of hours of us talking shit about all the shit, using all the words. You can listen to us live every Tuesday and Thursday on Facebook, X, and YouTube. So go to all three of those and follow us, subscribe to us, do all of the things, like all of the things, and help us grow if you would. We'd appreciate it. So, like I said, like, follow, and share, share, share. Um, I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Probably not. Maybe I did. I don't know. I'm exhausted. But we have had a fabulous time. And we hope that you did too. However, if you did not, you can fuck all the
Fuck
way
all the
off.
way off.
Good night.